Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video I'll be doing my trade targets for round 11 now. Yeah, round 11, going through who is a trade target, especially going into the buys, as we can pretty much count out almost getting any round 12 buy guys, as most people will have had Marshall, Dunkley, as well as Ashcroft is still highly owned. That's already 3. And there's another guy that I'm missing. And Goulden is also highly owned. All these guys are over 30% owned. 40, 69, 48, and 69% owned. So all those guys are really highly owned, and they are basically all there. So you don't really want to have a fifth guy that you're trading into. So before we get into the video, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, and let's get into the video. So as you can see here, this is just my team at the moment. Obviously, you can see a preview of the trades that I've got. And then, so now we go on to potential trade targets. I think one guy you can look at getting, and I think he will be still gettable, is Petrarca, even though he does have a pretty sure high break even. If we look here, break evens, Petrarca 132, that is pretty high. But you're getting Petrarca without Oliver for a little while, and he gets that good midfield role, and that's where he can average 115 plus. And for a guy that's currently priced at, I think, 102, 103, getting an upside of 12, 13 points this point in the season is pretty good. But also, he is carrying a niggle or whatever, so it's sort of it's not a definite one like a getting in a Butters or something like that. But I think it could be very, very valuable. Then you have here, let's look at 3-round average. I think that would be better. So 3-round average, you got Brayshaw. He is the one to get to post-buy in that round 13 round, as I will probably be getting, doing 2 guys from round 15, probably Rosie and someone else, and chucking them back to around, probably round 12, and that'll be Brayshaw, and probably someone else, and I'll also probably have to use a Sharp or a Long to get the cash gen, to get the cash to be able to do that, as well as it's very hard to upgrade Rosie up to Brayshaw. But also, if you're looking at other guys, Sarong did have a niggle, so probably want to wait on him a little bit. And then any Sydney guys, you're probably looking at Parker, who could be just a straight swap for Rosie, as Parker's got that role now with Mills being out for a while longer. He's got that role, and I think he's put up, I want to say, 2 tons in a row, maybe even 3 tons in a row. No, just 1, but 3 tons in his last 4. And an 88 in there as well, and he's just returning back to that form that we see post last year as well, and he's just in the middle and getting a lot of the ball, so I think he's the one to really look out for. But we'll have to see his performance against Carlton and how that goes. I'm pretty sure that's going to be maybe in a dewy sort of wet conditions as well, so that might help his scoring out. Then he has St Kilda, which should be interesting. And then Brisbane, but then he also has the Eagles and Geelong, Richmond. So that should be at sort of really topsy-turvy 4 weeks, I guess, month of footy, where he has 2 easy matchups and 2 hard matchups. But he is someone post-buy that we're looking at. Is there anyone now that we're really looking at in the next couple weeks, I guess? I'll do 900k, that's sort of the easiest one. Merritt is someone that you probably should be looking at. Merritt and Laird would be the uber premiums that you'd be looking at, especially with Kelly going down injured and Oliver going down injured. So you'd be looking at those 2. Anyone else in here? You could also look at Bontempelli, but he's got that round 15, and you're probably already stacked on round 15. So unless you have a way of getting all your numbers already sorted for round 12 and 13, then I'd be looking at getting round 14 guys, because I want to be able to hold Bont, Green, English, and Tarrant. I've already got Green Bont, Taranto, and English that I almost need to hold. So it probably does mean that I'm getting rid of Whitfield's, Sheasel, and Zeeble. Like, there's so many guys here that we got to get rid of because you don't want to be left with one less guy on the bench. I mean, one less premium scoring, as that could be 30 points or so. So that'll be a tough thing to decide which guy you're going to get rid of. Laird, Oliver, Sarong, Parrish, Walsh, Kelly, Dawson, Anderson. No one else there. So then we go down to 800 to 900k, and Bazza Smith is coming back into the focus, but I think we still need to see another round with him. But we'll see what happens there, as I think Caleb Daniel is going to go down back now that Joe Hannison is out for a long while. I think he was out for 8 to 10 weeks, so hopefully that means that Bazza Smith gets a better role. As if we look at DFS Australia, we look at this, we go to CBAs, and then we go to Western Bulldogs. We see here English, Bontempelli, Libba, Treloar, McRae 20%, Bazza Smith 75, and Caleb Daniel 45. I think they will put Caleb Daniel back, down back, and you'll see McRae skyrocket and basically take those CBAs away from McDaniel. So that will get Daniel's down to 0, and you'll see McRae up to probably 50-55%. Back to sort of these numbers here, I think will be a relative similarity, and then you just see Treloar's numbers reflected in Bazza Smith's. So I think something similar to what we have here, and then you flick Treloar's onto Bazza Smith. That is the sort of splits that I think we'll see. And then Libba, you've got here as well. He's going really well, but round 15 again. So these guys are going to be tough to get in at the moment, but these guys are post-buy sort of needs almost as we fill up our teams. Nank, can't really get him unless you were to see Rowan or English get forward status, but they're not going to at this point. Warner is a guy that's interesting. He's gone basically 4 tons in a row. I mean, it's a 99. It's basically a ton. And then, except for 3 bad games, he's basically gone tons the whole way through. So, if he can continue this form for another round, maybe he's a option, but I just don't know at this point. Short's a very good option, but round 15. Chera is round 15, isn't he? Or is he round 14? He's round 15, so take him out as well. Can't use him. Rao's a very good option if he gets going again, but again, he's stuck at that sort of range. Sicily, again, is round 15, isn't he? No, he's round 14. So he might be a guy that we can get in round 15 for the likes of, and even though maybe get Butters or something out, or Rosie out, and push someone into the midfield, such as like a Whitfield or something like that, as but I'll have to wait and see. As round 14, I have Petrarca I want to keep, Nick Dacos I'm going to keep, and probably will be Whitfield depending on how he performs in the next couple of weeks, as I'll probably get rid of Duggan and Day, and that'll allow me to get Sicily in round 15, I guess, as a replacement for the likes of a Rosie or a Butters, or getting rid of Sheasel or Zeeble. I can push guys around, I think. And then I think Kelly is an underrated guy that could be used in round 15, as he does have the round 14 bye, but and he is I think he just has a high break even at the moment. Kelly, 113, not bad. So you could decide to get Kelly, but I think there's a lot better guys in that round 14 region that you could get over him. Sinclair McRae's a guy that's going to be interesting. He might get the forward status, which will make him the probably the go-to F6 guy, I think, as his role will surely come back now that Johanneson's basically out for the season, and that means Daniel goes out, and I think McRae gets his CBAs back to the range that we need it to be at. And so post-bye, he's got Freo, Collingwood, where they'll play probably a real kick mark style. Then he's got the Swans, and then he's got some favourable matchups here to end the season as well. So you probably want to get him for that F6 role if you can do. And then you've got Neil starting to get into focus. So he's gone 3 tons in his last 4 games. So another good game for him could see him get up to be that type of guy that we go for in round 13 over the likes of a Parker or something, as Neil probably has a higher ceiling, but you probably don't want to start focusing on you probably don't want to risk it. Well, I mean, those 3 are probably them, and also going for the big 3 at Melbourne in terms of Viney, Oliver, and Petrarca, if they are all fit, are probably the only 2 times I'd go for the entire midfield of a side, as they're very, very consistent scorers. Darcy, wouldn't go for him. Steele, he has that round 12 bye, so he could be interesting, but he's also potentially he got a 120 last week, so his break even is still, I'm pretty sure, relatively high, isn't it? 113 break even, so he'll probably hold at 873. So that'll be probably a guy not to go for, as I think, unless he has Hawthorn already, so who does he have post-bye? He's got the Swans, he should do well there. Richmond, then he's got Brisbane, Eagles, so yeah, probably a guy you could look to as well, to swap out for some other guys once he's had his bye. Anyone else here that I really like? I don't really like anyone else here particularly. Then we move down to the 700k, and this is probably one of the last regions that we'll talk about, as there isn't really anyone below 600k that you'd risk it on. Even Hobbs, we'll quickly talk about him. He had a good round, but that was with Shield out as well. So 92 anyway with him. So with Shield back in, I expect him to drop 10-15% CBAs, and also that will probably correlate to 10 or 15 less scoring wise, and 70s for me at this point isn't that valuable. So I'd rather, because you can get a rookie that can score 70s, like Wardlaw can score 70s or 80s, so I'd rather get him in and have 200k more to be able to get a Butters who can go 140 or something like that, rather than go Hobbs and be limited to like a Rochelle or something else, as the way points sort of go in terms of point scoring ability of rookies compared to premiums and others and like mid prices, is that you really want to be able to go one up, one down, and Wardlaw is just the premium option over the likes of getting in Hobbs at the moment, and so that is sort of what you should be doing, and that'll get talked about in the rookies, the cash cows video that will be coming up tomorrow. Dom Sheed, 721, and this is a very, very interesting one, because if he didn't do this performance of two good games in away from home, then he'd probably be looked at. But because he's done it away from home and now he's got 2 games at Optus, I don't know how he's going to score at Optus Stadium. And Collingwood are one of the hardest mids to score against, so I don't think you should be going for him. Goldstein, Bolton, Martin, Nash. Nash just had a good game, to be honest, and has a good last 3, but mostly propped up by this 130. Klugic, surprised he's actually scoring well, to be honest, but 82 average. I don't know what I predicted his average to be, but it's certainly down. Daniel will have a weird role, but round 15 again. A lot of these guys are round 15. Hayden Young is a guy that I thought would be good, but again, he's dropped another low score, so we're going to have to see how he goes against Melbourne before potentially picking him up in round 13 or round 14, as we just have no one really to look at that's forward status at the moment. That is the real struggle at the moment, is to get guys that have forward status that are not round 15, as round 15, round 15, round 15, round 15, round 15. That's already 5 guys or whatever that I just named off that are round 15. And if we quickly look at this, and then I'll go back to 700k forwards, round 15, round 15, round 15, round 15. Round 15. That's already the top 5. The top 5 plus the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The top 10 guys that are forwards that are averaging in the last 3 are round 15 bye rounds. And you've got Mitchell up there close enough in the last 3, I'm guessing. Probably a 75 last 3. 78 last 3, which puts him also at around here as well for me. So Tanner Bruin could we risk it with him? I don't think we will in the end, as he only got a 93, but if he performs well in his 2 games leading up to it, maybe you can scrape by with him, but that would be such a major risk. Williams, round 15, cannot go for him. Hobbs, round 14, so maybe if he holds his role, you could. Anyone else here? Cobble King. Humphrey could be an interest. Humphrey could be the one that we have to go for just to help alleviate some of that pressure, as we've got 1, 2, 3. Like, we're talking about, we need to have a way to get guys how are we going to even do it? Because we're going to have to put Long on field, but hope that he doesn't score as much at this, because you need 6 forwards, and the fact that I don't want Zeeble and Sheasel, and I don't want Butters and Rose. Butters and Rosie will be fine to if we need to trade them out, that'll be fine, as I want to keep Bont, Green, English, and Taranto. So I want to keep 4 guys already. So that means that I need to trade out Sheasel, Zeeble, Butters, and Rosie in this round. And these 2 will be easy to cover, but finding 2 guys that are not round 15 that are forwards is going to be pretty tough, given that I have no forward guys at the moment that I can trade into, as we have literally no one. Even if we look at last round, this might tell us something. You got round 14, round 15, round 15, round 15, round 15, round 14. Caldwell is another watch. Daniel is around 14. Coleman Jones, Martin, Kerno, Martin. Coleman Jones is round 15, so it doesn't even matter. Mackenzie, Buddy, Tanner Bruin and Hobbs are on the watch list as well, just because we need someone, and Humphrey as well. And Horn Francis is around 15, so you can take him out. Last 5, I'm just honestly trying to go around with all the filters and find something at this point, because it is looking pretty bleak to have absolutely no one to look into. So you got round 15, round 15, round 15, round 15, and round 15, round 15, round 15. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 of the top 15 guys for, if I just check, McPherson 94, so he would creep into that sort of range. We're talking 12 of the top 16 guys here are round 15 buys for forwards. So you got 4 guys that aren't, and I've already got 1, 2, 3. And where's the 4th? The next guy, really, the next best guy is Danaher at the moment. Then Zorko, but Zorko would be a huge risk, as he's gone 73, 109, 58, and that's a season breaker. And I'm pretty sure I did the exact same thing last year with getting in Zorko, because I don't think I had enough defenders, and he got injured in the bye game, and that sort of ruined that plan, as he dropped a lot of cash, and I needed to waste. It'd be almost the equivalent of me wasting a Mitchell or something like that just to get Zorko up, as he doesn't really have cash on his head to in case he fails with a hamstring early. Shield doesn't work because he's round 15. King, Finlayson, Caldwell, Lewis, Heaney. We just haven't seen performances from him that really stand out yet, and he's sort of regressed a little, but we could see him pick it up, as I'm going to wait on Butters, Zeeble, and Sheasel, as and maybe have to trade Bont away, which will be annoying to trade Bont away, But trading Bont away will help me get the desired 3 guys off in round. Well, I could do 4 in this round because there are favourites, but that would leave me with 18 guys. But also, you've got to take into account that I have Wardlaw here, and so it would mean Wilmot is that last guy here. So I really do actually need to trade Bont, as I'll have, if I was to have 4 out-and-out premiums, it would be 4 premiums and Wardlaw, which would be 5 guys off, meaning I'd have these six guys here, then I'd have 17 guys, including Wilmot, so that would mean a Sharp or a Samson Ryan as well would come on, so that would get me back up to 18, but I don't like Samson Ryan's role too much. I think it's capped at about 40, so I'm really taking a 40 score if I don't, as Harry Sharp's probably going to get dropped as well. I'm probably taking a 40 score if I don't get rid of Bont and get him up, and if I do get rid of Bont, then the lower scoring guy is probably going to be a Duggan or someone that's I get in for Duggan as over trusting my bench a lot. Like, I will be trusting it with Wilmot, but I'm happy with Wilmot over someone else at the moment. So that's probably leaning me towards getting rid of Bont. And he'll probably be used to get Brayshaw in, I think. Unless, who does Bont have? He's got Gold Coast this week. Then he's got the hard matchup in Geelong in round 12. Okay, so he's got North in round 14. So I'm probably going to use him in round 15 and get rid of Rosie in round 14, as they will apply a tag to Rosie and Butters, I think. Whereas I can get 3 good games out of those. I can get 3 good games out of Rosie and Butters, and then trade them both in round 14 along with someone else or in round 13, I can trade them off and not have to have them in rounds 13 and 14. So yeah, that is sort of the plan. This is a very long-winded video. Basically, it's saying you got to pick well with your round 15 forwards, as that is a major problem at the moment, as we have absolutely no one. We have no one at this point to go to and turn to, because all the good forwards have round 15. And it's really almost a problem at this point, as if I'm looking down at the highest price guys and we have no one. Lipinski hasn't played yet and he's 711k, so we might have to rely on Darcy Cameron and Gawn when he gets forward status, as Gawn needs to play, I think it's like 35% forward time to get that status. So Cameron could be a guy that we look to, and we just hope and pray that he can get back to his 100 form here, as that was an injury affected game, and this was sort of an injury affected slow down over, like, bring him back slowly type game. So he has North this week, then he has the Eagles, and then he's got MCG against Melbourne. So he could be one guy that I look to get in soon, as he's got that Eagles game where he should absolutely feast, but then he's got Melbourne, but then he's got some pretty good matchups, I think. So yeah, that's basically it. There isn't really much to talk about, as all these guys we're gonna struggle with this. We could even be looking at Rochelle, but his role looks dead. So yeah, this is real bad. I'm even looking at the likes of Brad Hill and just trying to find someone to go there. But we could be looking at trying to get rookies there as well. Anyone here? Let's look at 3-round averages. McAndrew could be one that we just actually go for. This is bad. McAndrew, these guys are both round 15 for Spicer. Angwin round 15. Warner and Roberts don't play. 300k. Ford round 15. Baldwin, if he still is playing, but I don't know. What did Brockman put up last round? He put up an 81 last round, but that was against the Eagles. Francis is down back. Van Rooyen, Camaminti, no one. 400k. It's basically Humphrey, and that's it. 500k. Higgins. Are we really going to be relying on Higgins, who I think almost injured his hand, or was it someone else that injured their hand against GWS? Hobbs could become an option. McLean, Bruin. We are really scraping the barrel. Could Sparrow come back in, but he's not a high scorer as well. Wayne Malira as well. We need him to pick up some form to give us something. Perkins hasn't really given us anything. So yeah, this is really, really tough to see anyone really. I can't see anyone picking up any good form just in this buy round to enable us to get anyone. We might have to go for Jackson, even though he put up a 66 against Geelong, because he's got Richmond who are struggling, GWS, Essendon. We might have to pick up Jackson as a forward and just play him, even though his last 3 are 95, last 5 70, 90. Sorry, not 90, 80. So we could have to look into him just to see if he's an option. But that's the end of the video, and a very, very long-winded video, but basically showing you that there is absolutely no one in round 15 to help you guys out with the forward crisis that we're going to have with Zeeble, Sheasel, Taranto's staying for me, English is staying for me, Bont's going to have to go, and Green I think is going to be the one that stays unless Bont and Green switch around and whoever becomes more valuable. But that's the video there, and I'll see you guys in another video. Thanks guys, goodbye.